from a destroyed Umbrella lab. There's zombies everywhere. That's one of the maps that we've been showing off here at Pax East. So that's sort of the basic overview of the game. And we can click over into some B-roll too if we want to check out some gameplay in action here.
So I have to ask, the terrain spikes, can you use that to finish off enemies?
The spikes?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So the boots, the spiked boots are really good for stomping zombies, and the brainer as well, the melee axe, which looks like it's just this wicked climbing axe basically. That's really good against enemies too. And depending on the mode, so the mode we're looking at right now is one life match.
Okay.
No teams, the first team to wipe out the other team wins, and there's no respawn, so you have to make your lives count. But there are other modes. Multi-mission mode cycles through a variety of modes, and one of my favorites is DNA Hunter. So actually both teams are competing to take out zombies and collect the DNA samples that they drop. So you're competing for, to take out zombies. And there's a variant of that too that we'll be able to take a look at towards the end of our time here, where there's a special variant of the zombie, a special mutant who's actually immune to your zombie jammer. So even if your zombie jammer is intact, he's gonna bust through, and all zombies around him are gonna be immune to your jammer. So you're gonna have to deal with the threat of the enemy team and all those zombies. So there we go. That's the first round here of so Alpha takes that first round. And then what you're seeing here, this radial wheel, is if you didn't have a microphone, you could give like basic squad commands.
That's kind of smart. Not everybody likes to play with a mic.
Yeah, I know. So it's good to facilitate everyone. You're also seeing these. The environment will briefly glow blue here, and you can take contextual cover and sort of add a feather touch to the trigger of the controller and adjust how much you want to come up out of cover and expose yourself and shoot the enemy. So you saw a little bit in action there. So he took down the jammer, so that zombie was coming after him as soon as his jammer busted. So there we go. And the focus is on fast-paced, squad-based gameplay. So they're super quick rounds. Usually about 3 minutes. First to 3 wins takes the round. We've been running tournaments at Pax East and giving away some Umbrella swag. It's been a lot of fun. So let's see how this one shakes out. We have a couple other maps we've announced too. Beyond the Umbrella Lab, we have the Tricell headquarters. If you played Resident Evil 5. Tricell is the evil corporation, so you get to see what their headquarters looks like. And speaking of Resident Evil 5, there's also a map based on Kajuju, which is one of the it's a setting. So it's the first area where you're just getting swarmed by the Mahini in Resident Evil 5, and
yourself.
Yes, absolutely. So let's see here.
Now,
shakes out.
Dom is asking, why is this game considered to be canon within the Resident Evil universe?
So the story is it's a super loose story. It's very loosely connected to the rest of the Resident Evil universe. Basically, Umbrella was taken down in 2003, but their legacy of bioterror and weaponized bioweapons have been sort of continuing. And you are a mercenary that's been hired to fight on the battlefield against other mercenaries hired by shady, shadowy organizations. So it's a very loose connection. This shouldn't be approached as a mainline Resident Evil game. It's more of a spin-off. Capcom's been great about taking different approaches to spin-offs in the Resident Evil series. Whether it's
Raccoon City, which is, I know not everybody's fan favorite, but I loved it. I thought it was great. I even loved the multiplayer. It felt different and still played. It had a. Like I said, day 3 is so hard to talk. But it was fun to play with a good group of people. And it still kind of had that storyline to it, but it had its own kind of thing. Oh, God.
So you got a brainer takedown there. So those are good for one-hit kills, and you have a kind of cone that's radiating out of you. And if you have an enemy highlighted there and hit the right trigger, you're going to take him down right away. So that's probably one of my favorite parts of the game, is those takedowns. I'm kind of a sucker for the brutal kills there. But yeah, so that's the basic gameplay. Again, all the Umbrella map. we'll be able to show off the latest map that we have after this. But yeah, are you have you played many of the other Resident Evil games?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only one, ironically, I've missed is the first one.
Okay.
But that I wasn't allowed to play video games when I was younger, so I missed out on a lot of that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot of catching up to do. This year is the 20th anniversary of Resident Evil. So it came out in '96
Yes.
for PlayStation all those years ago. Yeah, it's been fun kind of looking back at all the places that the series has been. And again, like I was mentioning, the spin-offs, like whether it's Resident Evil Outbreak or Resident Evil Dead Aim on the PlayStation 2, there's so many spin-offs, and a lot of them are a lot of fun, but all of them take a different risk. They take a different approach to the gameplay that you wouldn't find in the core series.
Cool. Somebody's asking, when is Resident Evil 7?
Oh man, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's so yeah. There's nothing to say about that, but we do have the Resident Evil 2 remake that's been confirmed.
That is true.
Yeah, so that's I'm really excited to learn more about that. Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite horror games of all time.
Really, compared to the first one?
Yeah, I'd say for me personally,
Okay.
the Resident Evil remake that came out, it was just recently remastered for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and a lot of other platforms. That is, to me, I think, my favorite horror game of all time. When it comes from the Crimson Heads and making sure to incinerate their corpses so they don't come back to life. And just managing the mansion and making sure that you clear out all the corpses so that they don't come back. It's one of my favorite elements of the game. But on top of that, Resident Evil 2, you can play as two characters. You play as Leon, you play as Claire, and if you play through as Leon, you can go through an entire second scenario as Claire and experience all these different things that were going on in the background. So, yeah, Resident Evil 2 is a huge favorite of mine. I can't wait to see how that shakes out. And the team at Capcom Japan, who is also developing Umbrella Corps, they're hard at work on that.
Gosh, they gotta be busy.
Yeah. Yes, busy group of developers. So, also worth noting, we showed this game off at the Game Developers Conference at the Unity booth, and it was a lot of fun. There was a good reception because this is Capcom Japan's first project in Unity.
Oh, really?
Developing in Unity. So,
okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of developers that had kind words to say about it. So.
Now I have to ask the HUD here. So I see there's essentially a little mini map, but what are the red spikes?
So it's basically a sound map. All those red blips will indicate any enemy activity.
Oh, okay.
So zombies and enemy players alike. Usually the louder ones, an enemy starts firing off his gun, is going to indicate that that's the enemy player, which is it is an incentive for customizing your weapon, maybe getting a suppressor so you don't show up on there if you have to fight a bunch of zombies, or for going through the map and using melee to take out zombies because it's quieter and it's faster, and you won't stand out as much. Won't give the enemy a tip that you're around the corner. See how this one's going to shake out. This is 3-1.
I'm not even playing, but I'm like really riveted, and I need to know who's going to win.
All right. So he busted the jammer. There we go. That's Alpha.
So Alpha definitely is steamrolling this entire this entire demo.
The other thing that's worth mentioning is that you can customize your entire loadout. There's a variety of patches, whether it's Stars logo from the original Resident Evil, or Umbrella logos, or all sorts of little nods to other entries in the game. There's patches and decals that you can customize your mercenary, different gas masks. And there's a lot of options there. And then on top of that, you can swap out different scopes, different suppressors for your guns. There's some really wicked shotguns in the game. All the maps have a smaller variant to them, so if you want to focus on more fast-paced, super close quarter battles, you can close off half the map. One-on-one, there you go. And of course, there are different brainer variants as well. So.
Okay.
Brained.
So you start with your what do you call them? Operators, characters, classes.
This is a mercenary.
Mercenaries. Okay.
Yeah.
So you start with one mercenary. and you can customize them to any way. So that includes cosmetic as well as gun cosmetics, besides functionality.
Absolutely. So yeah, you can get pretty crazy with the weapon customizations. If you want to have a neon pink submachine gun,
that's this guy over here.
Yeah, that's absolutely a great fashion statement. I think to stand out in the battlefield. It'll be it would be a memorable thing for the enemy to see if it wasn't the last thing.
Right.
So, yeah, you definitely have options with that.
So what is your favorite thing about this game that makes it stand out compared to, say, other shooters as well as over-the-shoulder shooters?
Absolutely, yeah. So for me, what I really like about it is the idea of having to battle it out with an enemy and have zombies in the battlefield, but not have them be the complete point. You know, we spend a lot of time battling zombies in Resident Evil games and video games in general, but I like the idea that they are sort of this looming threat, and you can get so used to working through the map, looking for the enemy that the zombies become background noise.
Interesting.
But then the moment that your jammer's busted, it's like, oh yeah, these guys are everywhere, and now there's you'll watch an enemy run across the map with a potent jammer, and just a train of zombies, like a conga line of zombies following.
Conga line of zombies.
And then you'll get in the zone, and you'll forget that they're coming after you, and just juggling those threats for me, as a big fan of all the different enemy types in Resident Evil. It's a fun mashup because I like testing my skills as from shooters and kind of stacking that up with zombies involved too. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts about it. Definitely.
I saw somebody asked a little bit earlier ago, would you consider this to be a platform for possible esports, or would you do your own kind of tournaments for the community? Is that something you guys would be looking into?
Yeah, I think that there's potential for both. I'm really excited to be out and to work with the community and organize some tournaments online, get some prizes and some organized competitions there. And yeah, depending on the reaction of the community, based on the reaction that we've had from playing at PAX and other conventions, it's been really positive. And if people want to focus their energy and there is a community to play some organized competitions with esports, I think that's something that we would consider. But yeah, right now, you just want to get the game out there and get in front of people and give them a chance to try it out for themselves.
Cool.
Yeah. I can't wait to play with Capcom. Sure.
I'm excited as part of the Capcom community in order to play this.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that much longer to wait.
How much longer? Because it says spring 2016.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be June 24th.
Yes.
So, close. Very
June
close.
21st?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Sorry, you cut off just a little bit.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Are you a fan of all things zombies?
Maybe. Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's an interesting, like, zombies are incredibly popular. Seems like they're sticking around for a while.
I hope so. I don't know why. I like that element of, I hate horror games. I'm deathly, intensely afraid. But I love zombie games because I guess I have the gun. I have that little bit of a defense, even though it's not the world's greatest defense compared to some of the enemies in Resident Evil. But
right. So, in a situation like, let's say, we're at PAX. This is a crowded show floor. Zombie outbreak. What's your plan? What do you do?
Right? Oh, that's a question?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Oh, that's a legit question. Okay, crap.
I'm not prepared. You're gonna have to take the lead.
Oh man. Well, stay away from hospitals. I would say go to Costco, to be truthfully.
Yeah.
I mean, Costco's literally got everything. There's gonna be other people that obviously have that idea, so I wouldn't say stay there. Use that as a refueling point. Load everything in your car and get the fuck out of Dodge.
Right, yeah.
Go to the country. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Maybe north. Zombies slow in the cold.
That's smart. Really good idea. Yeah.
But
Going to Canada.
Oh yeah, Canada, here I come.
Yeah.
If I can get to Russia, I'll go to Russia.
I'm going with you because I don't have a plan. I'm too busy playing video games to worry about that. I should probably I don't know, run a few laps around the block and get cardio up there so I can actually run away from these things.
Oh yes, cardio. Always cardio.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fail on that one. Somebody said the guys at Capcom USA are great. They're always super helpful when I had to call them in the past.
Well, thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's well, hopefully we can keep it rolling.
Just trying to catch any more questions or comments. See if I can find any.
Yeah, keep it coming.
They like the crawling animation and call it a swimming animation.
Which animation?
The crawling animation looks like they're
right.
swimming.
Yeah, they're skillful crawlers. So much so that they just kind of have this way about them. They can kind of just glide along the floor.
It's the
They're so
cardio.
fast. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It all comes back to cardio.
Frag Static says, comment, Tim is delightful.
Oh, thank you. Are all your viewers this nice all the time? Like,
Yeah, we have a really good community. We've been lucky.
I was watching a little bit earlier, and yeah, it seems like everyone's good spirited. What can you tell me about the bank heist?
Okay, so bank heists are, so ATP is our Alienware Twitch points. It's like our in-stream currency that we have. You can use it to win games that we have or raffles, or you can use them for at the end of every month. Well, not these past 3 months because we've been traveling. We have this thing called Loot Alienware's Vault, where we give away like a desktop, a PC, a whole bunch of peripherals. Like we give out a lot of things, like a lot. And they use it to bet tickets and to get into the raffle to win free stuff. So bank heists are one of the mini games that's a part of it. That you put in ATP, it's a random number generated thing. You get what you get. You might lose, you might die, you know, or you might walk away with a lot of money.
And eventually you might win an awesome PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm curious, yeah, if anyone watching has any, you know, with the 20th anniversary of Resident Evil in mind, like, I'm always fascinated to talk to people about what their first experience with the series was, because it usually has to do with getting the crap scared out of them, and like what their first big scare with Resident Evil was. I love hearing stories like that. 'Cause, like for me, it was like the first time I saw the game, I was 11, probably way too young to see it, and I saw the Tyrant. I don't know if you're familiar with the Tyrant.
My God!
Yeah. I don't know why. My cousin showed me a way late game, and you know, the Tyrant shown off in his huge test tube and his perks on the exterior, and he's like this giant claw, and he comes out and immediately kills Wesker, and he was terrifying. The boss fight is actually not that bad, but I went to bed terrified, and I had trouble going to sleep because I was so terrified. I was convinced that the Tyrant was coming for me, but eventually I thought through it and realized that, well, the Tyrant's like 9 feet tall or something, and the clearance on this ceiling is probably only like 7 feet, so the Tyrant can't even fit in this house, so I'm good. He can't fit through the door, and that's how I get to sleep every night now.
Holy crap. I think mine wasn't actually the gameplay itself. Do you remember like back in the day in PlayStation where you got like those demo discs?
Oh yeah.
So on one of the demo discs was the trailer. I don't remember if it was for the first Resident Evil or the second one, but it's the one where like the dog's face melts off.
Okay.
And it was like, I was really, really young. I think it was like 6 or 7, I don't know. And I saw that video and I lost my shit.
Okay.
I couldn't go near dogs for like a year, maybe 2.
Because of the Cerberus dogs from Resident Evil. Well, they are terrifying. They're like one of the most vicious enemies in the game. And there is maps where they are roaming around. So be careful. Just I would avoid the Juju map in Resident Evil 5. Maybe avoid that one. The Tricell headquarters has dogs all over the place. They're faster, and they jump and try to bite your neck. So you have to be careful about that one.
Great.
But if you want, speaking of maps, if we want, we could take a peek at the most recently announced map. It's actually tied to Resident Evil Code Veronica, which was originally came out on Dreamcast. It's a game that we were talking about Resident Evil 2 for a while. Primarily stars Claire Redfield. And
Love me
the
some
first
Claire.
quarter of the game takes place on a prison island, and the second half of the game takes place in an Antarctic base. And this map is based on the Antarctic base from Code